And Mr. Zuckerberg, you have accomplished something that nobody, and I mean nobody, thought was possible. Brad Sherman, Chair Waters, many on the other side of the aisle actually agree with and, in fact, use tweets by the president to support their position. I never thought I would see the day, but here we are. You have taken the puzzle pieces of politics, shaken up the box, thrown them out on the table, and everybody's trying to figure out where they fit when it comes to Facebook and when it comes to this technology use. I don't fault you for what your tool has become because I do believe it is a tool. I want to explore that a little bit, but first my question is, what share of Calibra is Facebook? I know it's an association. I'm sorry, of Libra is Facebook. So it's an association that you've referenced. I mean, do you own half of it? Is it equal shares among all the partners? David Marcus, who had been at Facebook, is heading up Calibra. Is it one and the same? Is Calibra Facebook?
Okay, Congressman, there are two organizations here. There's the Independent Libra Association.
Yep, that's what I'm wanting to get to know.
Which is a nonprofit. So it's not a for-profit entity that there's ownership.
So but how does the vote, here's what I'm trying to get at. How does the voting go? Is it what David Marcus says? Is it what Facebook says? Or is it you can be overruled by others in the association?
That's correct. Right now, there are 21 companies and nonprofits. There are a lot more that want to join. Each company and nonprofit organization that's a member has one vote in electing the board. Right now, there are 5 board members. David Marcus is one of the board members, but is not running Calibra.
Well, he's been here. In fact, sat where you sat.
Sorry, I just misspoke. He's not running Libra. He is running Calibra, which is Facebook's payment subsidiary. But we are looking for the Libra Association is recruiting an independent director, and David is not even on the search committee for that.
Okay, so here's I asked him the question because it had been put forward that Switzerland was where you were going to domicile this. Or the association was going to domicile. He had said that he had been talking to the Swiss regulators. The Swiss regulators said that he hadn't been talking to them and that the association hadn't been talking to them. So I'd like you to clarify that. Have you been talking to the Swiss regulators?
Congressman, yes. And the misunderstanding there was that I believe that he and the team had been working with the primary Swiss financial regulator, FINMA, and now we're also working with the data regulator, which is going to be relevant.
You say that you've worked with 30 different jurisdictions in examining this. Can you provide us with a list of the regulators that you have talked to?
Congressman, I can get back to you with the full list.
Okay, that'd be great. That's all I want. It's not a trick question. Just want to know that. I'd also like to know which U.S. regulators you have been talking to.
Congressman, are you asking about me personally or our team?
Well, I mean, you used the royal we on page 3 of your testimony. I'm assuming it's not you specifically. I'm assuming it's you and your team. But I want to know who Facebook and Calibra and Libra have all been talking to in the U.S., because I think one of the questions that I have is why Switzerland and why not the U.S. a little bit about as the ranking member had started to go down there. And I want to move quickly on that, though. But will you get me a list of those U.S. regulators?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Here's the real crux. You said that you won't launch without U.S. regulator approval. What happens if the association decides to launch despite that?
Congressman, then I believe we would be forced to leave the association. I would hope that that the association will weigh our recommendation and what we say publicly that we think should happen. But if at the end of the day we don't receive the clearances that we feel like we need to move forward, and the association chooses to move forward without us, then we will be in a position where we will not be a part of the association.
My remaining 30 seconds here, as I said, I believe Facebook is a tool. I believe cryptocurrency and Libra is a tool. I believe all technology is a tool. It's a neutral tool, just like a car, a plane, a gun, a knife, all of which have been used at weapons for nefarious things at times, and all of things that have been used to benefit. These various tools are in society, though, regulated. And whether it's Ms. Wagner's concern and all of our concern about child sexual exploitation or others, you need to help us understand where the line between people's First Amendment rights, yours, mine, all of society's lie, and the safety of our society, regardless of the platform or tool. So I'd like to continue that conversation at some point.